he lucky I never got another coaching job because he was the first person I was calling.
Yeah, no question.
Every time I got it because of the loyalty that doesn't exist.
Does it?
Man.
It's like this as an assistant coach. If your head coach trusts you to do stuff, there's going to come a time where someone's going to say, man, you doing everything.
Right.
And it's at that moment you have to say, it's not I, it's we.
Yep.
Coach is giving me the responsibility. Yep. It's all his ideas as well as mine.
Yep.
You just have to understand that there's always going to come a time as an assistant coach where someone's going to try to undermine your boss or undermine you. Mm-hmm. And that person has to make a statement letting them know that you're unified, or that's the same guy that's going to be trying to get your job.
Yeah.
Welcome to Life on the Road, a coach's journey with your hosts.
I'm Alphonza Kee.
And I'm Scott Bollwage.
This is a podcast by coaches for coaches.
So sit back and enjoy another outstanding episode of Life on the Road. Welcome to another episode of Life on the Road. And today, man, it can't get much better than this. So our special guest today, man, I got to look at my phone for this one, is the reigning Coach of the Year at Verrado Way High School on the girls' side, and he is a state champion. He is one of the former head coaches I worked for, Coach Lynn Ramage. Welcome to Life on the Road.
Thank you. Very, very happy to be here. Excited to see you two guys again. It's been a while since we all sat down and talked together. It's been like, a long time.
Yes.
Great to see you both.
I mean, when you think about it, it's been since we've all been together. Let's think about this, 20 years. Because you go back to the Final Four in San Antonio, which was 2004.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
20 years since Coach Kee seen you on the dance floor.
Yeah.
I was doing pretty good till COVID hit, man, and I stopped going. I'm like,
on the Riverwalk, like it was
on the Riverwalk, man. I had to get an asthma attack. I caught a damn asthma attack. It went up. Suddenly all the air left in the room, and I don't know where it went.
So, Coach, we're so happy to have you here, and we're gonna get the
It's an honor.
rolling.
It's an honor. Thank you,
man. This is something where Coach Kee and I, when we put this all together way back when, you're always at the top of the list. It's a matter of getting to you. And during the season,
it means a lot. It does mean a lot. Because we all went through the wars together. We have similar stories, and we've also recruited similar turfs. So and we've also coached at HBCU. So we all got that in common.
Definitely. So we're gonna get this thing rolling, Coach. And first question is always, where was your first coaching job, and most importantly, what made you want to get into being a basketball coach?
Well, as simple as this, and I'm pro academics, but as a kid coming up, and to this day, I can name every coach I ever played for in any sport.
Wow. Okay,
but I can't name every teacher I had. I don't know who my history teacher was in 8th grade, but I guarantee you that every one of you can remember who your middle school teacher was, who your coach at middle school, elementary, junior high. You remember those things. I saw the impact that if someone with the right message could have, is you could make an impact on this world. Because especially me, I grew up a single parent, well, not a single parent, first generation parent, which meant no one in my family went to college. So how were they going to teach us if they didn't have the knowledge? So we basically had this grand idea, and this was before the SATs and all that stuff, that I would just get to college on a scholarship, and who needed the books? It was like, so with that being said, I kind of used coaching and put them on a pedestal because it's something I wanted to do, because I saw the admiration and respect and the change that they could make. I mean, think about this, guys. You can talk to a young player and their parent who pays every bill, they'll listen to your advice before they listen to their parents.
100%.
So with that responsibility, you need to say the right things and get online with their parents. I mean, even at Greensboro, recruiting a kid, he tells his parents to shut up. I'm not recruiting you. That lady gave birth to you. I'm just a basketball coach. But, so I got into coaching because it was something I thought that I could make a difference to help kids like myself who never got looked at, who didn't have, everyone thinks they're going to have Duke and everybody, Dean Smith back in the day. You think those are the 1%.
Right.
That's the 1%. And if you don't realize, everyone has the dreams of going to the NBA. Well, I just said, that's great. But just look, take off one of those letters. And it's called a BA, a Bachelor of Arts degree.
That.
You understand? Just take off one. But if you get 3 or you get M on that, then I'm really excited.
Yeah.
But if this is the only time I'm going to let you not, get what you want and settle for less. I'll take a BA.
That's great.
You know what I mean?
Good.
So I got into this coaching, and I was in college, in high school, and real big football state, Virginia, EC Glass. We had our senior year, we had 100 kids on our football team.
Wow.
And I was a wide receiver, and they only gave me one play. It was so political. It was so political that, it was just political. I know I'm jumping around, but the coaching part, in Virginia, our junior high was the first to segregate.
Okay.
So along with that came a lot of problems of Dunbar being an all-black school and EC Glass merging. And since we started in the 7th grade, by the time we were seniors, our class was very close, very close. And, I think that movie, Remember the Titans? And our team won one more game, not my team. Our school was scheduled to play them for the championship. That's how good football was.
Okay.
So, but I got into coaching because I wanted to make a difference, and I wanted to be able to go back and help people that could not get an opportunity. I want to go back in town and say, hey, I got a school for you. Let me get this for you. Boom. So that's one of the main reasons, because I knew how powerful that we can be as coaches and impactful.
So where was that first coaching job?
I started off coaching girls at West Liberty.
Okay.
Yeah, I played up there for 4 years, and I wanted to go to the boys' side, but he had already given the GA to the student assistant to someone else. So I went and worked with the girls, and I'm telling you what, man, the guy I worked for, it was we still in touch today. I was a student at the school, so here I am. One year, I'm a player, so next year I'm a coach. So it had its ups and downs. Yeah,
and that's in West Virginia.
West Liberty. I was the assistant girls coach. But I tell people this all the time. You can talk about Jim Crutchfield all you want, but I am the all-time winningest coach in West Liberty history. I'm a 1,000%. I've never lost a game. And my story. Here's my story. The men's coach got sick. His mother was sick, and she was getting close, and he didn't want to go all the way to Shepherd, which is right outside of Hagerstown. The game was in Shepherd. And back then, there wasn't no overnight trip. You drove down 4 hours, you came back the same night. It wasn't no spending the night.
Right.
So we had to drive the vans down and drive them back. So he decided that he knew that Shepherd was going to drag us. He didn't want to go to the game. So he said, I don't feel like going, you take them. So here I go, driving to Shepherd with the girls. And one of the things that I noticed, that's when I knew I could coach, because I noticed that his approach, that when you make a mistake on the floor as a player, you're the first one to know. Don't look over at me, get back on defense and make up for it on the defensive end.
Right.
Don't show me how you sorry. I don't care. My bad. No, I don't care about that. I care about you going back and doing your job.
Yes.
So once the girls just played and didn't worry about making a mistake, we ended up winning the game. Well, he didn't talk to me the rest of the year. But we won. But I said in the paper, I'm trying to be political. I'm not too political. And as I'll explain later, it kind of led to my demise in coaching because I'm not too political. But I said that they couldn't believe it. So the reporter goes, how did y'all win? Trying to take the credit from me, I simply said, I did nothing. Everything we did, our head coach drew it up, We executed what he said, and
An extension
it
of
worked.
him.
Well, he took it like maybe they wasn't listening to him, but they was listening to me. So why ain't they winning for you? Why aren't they winning for you? And they winning. So that didn't go well, So I'm sitting there, and I'm up at West Liberty, and I'm still in school, and I hadn't graduated yet. And I'm going to tell you right now, that was the best decision I ever made, was to go to West Liberty.
Sure.
Because when I went up there, it was only about 20 blacks in the whole school.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to know only 2,000 people. I had been in the military. So I knew that if I went somewhere else, I had a chance to go to Fresno State out of the military.
Right.
Okay.
But it was too far from home.
Yeah, long way.
And so I went back, ended up going to Frederick Community College. But I just knew that, it just was too, it wasn't, I just couldn't do it. So that's why I did that. So it's, get so many things going through my head right now, guys. I mean, when I'm talking about the coaching part, the part that I got to college is a story within itself. Because I didn't graduate high school.
Okay.
And I didn't graduate high school because I wasn't a bad kid. I was just lazy.
Right.
So I went into the military, and to tell you how good God is, how do you get in the Air Force without a degree?
Yeah, he must be special. Yeah.
Not supposed to. But I got in. Got a GED. Got a BA. Now I got my master's in November.
Congratulations.
So don't tell me about what God ain't good for you. It's like, it's amazing. But I did that coaching, and I did that for 2 years, and then I'm up there. And then I got one of my friends got me down at Davis and Elkins. You ever heard of Davis and Elkins?
Yeah,
Yep.
All around.
When I went down to Davis and Elkins, and the guy that hired me before I left, he resigned.
Wow.
So I'm on my way to Davis and Elkins as an assistant, and the athletic director called me up. He said, "Do you want to put in for the job?"
Wow.
Dude, I'm like 25 years old.
Yeah.
No head coaching experience. Now I'm in the WVIAC, and it's NAI. It's not NCAA at that time, brothers.
Okay.
It's NAIA.
Okay.
And there's some players in there. Ron Moore, Ronnie Legit. Oh, it was some players coming out of there. We had NBA Sadell Threet. You understand? Sadell Threet played in their league.
Wow.
That dude gave us 30 and 13 and didn't even play the last 10 minutes. Unbelievable. And I just saw him recently out here, and we reminisced. Even Ron Moore is living out. His wife's the head coach at Arizona State. But anyway, so he asked me if I want to put in for the job. And of course, we all think we head coaches.
No question.
No
idea.
I was also smart enough to understand that as a black coach going down into Davis and Elkins, would I get that job?
Right.
Put your ego out. Would I get that job? So I thought this is where a lot of people don't understand. If me and any of us go for the same job, and all of a sudden I don't get it, do you want to hire a guy that wanted your job?
Right.
No. So I said, listen, all I want to do is be the assistant coach.
Right. That's
foresight. Yeah. And after I got down there, I said, I could have done it, but it was better this way.
No question.
Let him take the losses, because I'm telling you what, that first year was rough.
Yeah.
We got there in August.
Wow. School started. Everything's rolling.
Right in August. Yeah. And we didn't have a chance to recruit or nothing.
That's a nightmare.
And Davidson Elkins was NCAA and NAIA.
And
it cost, back then it cost like $25,000 to get in there. And the most money they ever gave you was $5,000. So that's the most money they give you. So you could, you want to know why you're not winning, because you're getting $5,000 players.
Yeah, you get to pay for it.
Right. So we get there, and a bunch of kids had left, because the coach had left. And so we get out there, and some kids were coming. We ended up with when we first got there, we only had 6 players.
Okay.
So we had to go into the student body to recruit. Ooh, man, we getting tennis players. We getting guys, you know,
Intramural All-Americans.
From intramurals to straight to a uniform.
That's right. Ball committee, here I come. Everybody think they can play. So we go, and we got that first game of the year. And I think it's against Charleston or somebody like that.
Mm-hmm.
They beat the brakes off of us. I mean, it was like, I called it my Oriental game. Ugly. Ugly. It was ugly. One of them Oriental games are ugly. So the next night, 2 days later, we have to play Liberty University.
Right.
Now in '86, they were Division II.
Right.
So they had played Wesleyan the night before, so I went up and watched the game.
Right.
They played us back to back because everybody wants to play you back to back when you suck. We can beat you on a bad
find room
night.
on the schedule. They find room for you.
We beat them. We beat Liberty.
Wow.
Liberty, Bibbity, whatever you want to call it.
And Doug.
And yeah. So we're hyped. We are 1-1, and we are on a mission, baby. And man, we were on the mission. We lost the next 25 in a row. I'm like, boy, I'm telling you what, I tell people this all the time. You think it's hard, try to convince kids every night to play as hard as they can.
You're right.
And knowing they're gonna get their ass whipped.
Yeah. People have no idea.
You lose 25 in a row, and you're not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, and those kids, man. I mean, that's why when I got to Morgan and we lost, I was kind of experienced in what to say or what to do to kids. Because just because it's like people never think that bad things don't happen to good people.
No,
they do.
Or good coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
They do.
Stimulation. Yeah.
Your job is to decide what's going to happen. What's your next step?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I do an Instagram. At first, I used to get on all these social medias and end up losing friends and arguing about this political crap. And I said, I'm not changing their mind.
Right.
They're not changing mine.
Not at all.
But every Monday on my Instagram, I post a positive quote every Monday.
Okay.
And I try to tell all my students that, kind of look on it and see.
Good idea.
And look at something interesting. I'm gonna give you my quote for the week, because I just want people to. It said, "It's your reaction to adversity, not adversity itself, that determines how your life story will develop."
Mm.
So I just tell them this. Like, one of my favorites is success is not owned. It's rented, and the rent's due every day. Time to pay the rent.
You just say
every day.
Daily.
You got to pay that rent every day if you want to be successful.
Yeah,
you think you own success? Mm-mm. No, nobody owns success.
Coach, I'm just gonna pause this real quick, because I got to tell you, like, we haven't spoken in a while, and I called you a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't get you, but I got your voicemail.
Right.
And I'm listening to it. I'm like, man, there's going to be a message. At the end of this voicemail, there's going to be a message. And I'm listening, and I'm like, I wonder when, like, the last time he's changed his voicemail. Like, was it going to be the same message from, 20 something years ago? Or is it going to be an updated, like, and I was like, man, he's up to date with it.
Yeah.
Like, so, you're constantly trying to, feed into people and just to get them to think more. And it's really something, like, I don't know how many people actually listen to voicemails anymore, but like, I was listening to, like, just to hear what was going to be at the end of that voicemail.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
well,
it's something that, like, it says a lot about you, because you're taking the time to put some thought into what you're going to say at the end of this voicemail to get whoever is listening to this to think, man, like that was pretty deep.
That's all I've ever wanted to do was make a difference and try to help people and try to be that person that I don't care. I never did anything for the money.
Right.
I could have done it at Miller's when I get one of these big schools. I didn't want to be a package deal.
Right.
Because if you end up being a package deal, if that kid doesn't be who they think they are, they're gonna get rid of both of you.
No
but
question.
Also, I wanted to be true to his parents. And then, you know, with all this stuff on the men's side with dishonesty, I wanted them to, and it's worked out for me because a lot of these kids' parents are still in touch. And that means something, that you treat it the right way. So,
So, Coach, after you started at West Liberty, where did you go after West Liberty?
I went to Davis and Elkins, and then I was there for 2 years.
Yep.
And then call me stupid. I don't know what I was thinking. You heard of Chesapeake College, right, in Maryland?
Yep.
Yeah, I was the head coach there.
Okay. That's a junior college, correct?
Yeah, right outside of Annapolis, over the bridge. What was I thinking, guys? I was unhappy with the head coach. He had his girlfriend was telling him who to play and who not to play. And I was trying to find out how I dealt with that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do. So I went to his friends. And in reality, by trying to help him, I probably alienated him. And I should have went to him and told him himself as a friend.
Well,
I went around because Tom was a great guy. And he just let this woman start influencing who he played and who he didn't.
Are they still together? Are he and the girl still together?
No, thank goodness. She was like 12 years older than him. He was a young guy. He gained some, blew his mind.
Yeah,
and then
that's all it takes.
We go on road trips. She packed him a bag and put Tommy on it, but couldn't get him to do. Oh my God!
Give him some defensive coverage here, some balls.
Yeah. Just telling him who to sub and who not to.
Win the press.
I had a kid that transferred in from West Virginia, and she didn't like him, so he didn't play.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
You didn't say the wife said the girlfriend.
Yeah. So that happened, and during that time, I was working. Tom was from upstate New York, and on the summertime we just take off and we do camps. And I worked Syracuse. I worked Jim Beeline, who told me the biggest lie ever. John Beeline.
Yeah.
I'm working his camp, and he goes, "Hey, when I go Division I, you're the first guy I'm calling." I'm still waiting for that call from Beeline. Still waiting for that call.
Oh man, he said the biggest lie ever. Now he's been a couple Division I since then.
He got a couple. He got the Richmond job. I called him up. Hey, I'm from Lynchburg. Hey, nice, good. I'll let you know. Okay, checks in the mail.
Tough business.
So anyway,
ruthless.
We grew up and worked. Yeah, Tom in junior college in Buffalo, he played for Paul Evans. Remember Paul Evans?
I do.
Paul Evans coached Sean Miller at Pitt and all those places like that. With Bobby Martin and all those. And anyway, I went over there, man, and I worked the camps. They loved me. The coaching staff, because I had the kids doing crazy stuff and all that crazy stuff. And Coach Evans offered me a grad assistant position at Pitt.
Okay.
And I couldn't take it because I was 6 credits short of my degree. Now, you know Brian Reagan, right, Scott?
Yes.
He's the one that got my job.
Wow.
Because his father's a judge. That's why he's still at Pitt now. His father was the judge in Pittsburgh.
Wow.
He left, he went to Colgate. Now he's back in some administrative position at Pitt. A great guy. We always laugh about that. But so I went to Chesapeake, and we had I got a chance to be a head coach. And how stupid was I? You know how much they paid me for the job? $1,000 a year.
A year?
A year.
No leap year? It's a regular year?
Leap year.
Okay.
Any year, 1,000 is, I'm so poor I can't even pay attention.
We all been there.
So I get the job, and man, I'm getting to recruiting. I'm calling up kids. I'm finding housing for them down there. And when you know it, I got 8 good players. I had the point guard from Oak Hill coming in. I We were about to make some noise.
Yeah.
But what happened was we got down to about 8 players, and they all could play. But they were so used to, in a normal situation of having 15, they never thought about it. Like today, they have regrets to this day. I still talk to some of them. So what ended up was 2 or 3 of them got homesick and left. Bam.
Wow.
Then I did the same thing I had to do with Davis and Elkins. I had to go in the student body, get the kids out.
Recruiting.
You want to know? You want to know who we beat? They shortened their season because at the break everybody flunked out.
Right.
And all the other kids were leaving, and
That's a junior college.
we beat Cecil. The only team we beat that year was Cecil.
Cecil, that's a name.
Wow.
That's a program. Wow.
Yeah. So
you coached them up, Coach.
They did some. We had some decent players, but I told them, if y'all got enough, you only need 5 to play, and we got 5 of the best, but y'all just too busy listening to the gloom and doom. You don't understand how easy, So now that's what they did. So
after Chesapeake,
State.
You're right. So you got to Morgan State.
Okay.
Now, to Morgan State.
How was that for you? And just jumping from you've gone from West Liberty on the women's side to Davis and Elkins to the JUCO. Now you're at Morgan State. Like, what kind of adjustment was that for you?
I'm gonna tell people this, and they think I'm crazy. If you're not in the right program, stay the hell out of Division I, because what you think it is from being a fan and what it is as a coach is totally different.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
You see the refs blatantly cheating. The money games.
Guarantee games,
The guarantee games, man. Look, here I am. I'm sitting there watching Providence. And we know when Georgetown was playing and watching all the games. Now, guess what? My first tournament, we're playing Providence.
Mm-hmm. Who's the coach at that school at that time?
I think it was Joe Mulaney.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Rick Barnes may have been up there then.
They were good though. Okay.
I never forget this. We go, Providence is kind of mafia. You know that.
Right.
It's mafia. So we get up there and we stay in this hotel with a crystal ball, man. It's like they gave us 2 Chryslers, white Chryslers to drive around. Man, I was like, oh.
No question.
They gave the head coach a car. Yeah, I'm thinking, man, this is a great life, man. Jeez. All right, shoot. Till the game started, then they whipped us like Red at the Step Kids.
Yes, they do. That's part of the contract.
Part of the contract, man. We had a young team, and that year we had that first 12 games on the road.
Yep.
I never,
I've been to
I never been like that in my life. So we go down to and we all got these stories, but the first year we did all right, but so we played. So the second year we were there, we went out and we brought in 9 freshmen and 2 JUCOs from Hagerstown.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We felt pretty good about it. We got a dude named Chico Langston out of LA. I mean, in the 3rd year. No, 2nd year. We didn't get Chico. We got some other guys, and we was, so we go on the road again. We got our first 12 on the road. We started the year off 1-12 every year.
Yeah.
Or 0-12.
Yeah, and let me intervene on that. I worked at a couple schools at a lower level. Division I is a big gap. And I just thought I just had so much respect for just being able to play 10 road games and have to manage your team. And, and just because it's not physical, it's still a beating. So it's the same as someone beating you down for that long. So I respected the coaches in lower level leagues that could psychologically keep their team together. I parallel. It's like having a high major team going to the Western Conference NBA for the first 2 months.
Right.
Yes.
And we'll see how much your triangle works then. So I remember that. And then also I learned at lower Division I is, getting upset about the refs, just not being fair. But it was brought to my attention to say, well, if you beat this team in ACC, you hurt the whole ACC, because what happens is about the money. So if you lose to a lower ranked team, regardless of the team, the whole conference gets penalized. They get less teams in the tournament, and you're losing millions of dollars. So that game is not about you or Wake Forest or Clemson. It's about the whole league. So it was an eye opener for me.
Political, it's funny. Two things. We played Georgetown at the Cap Center, and they used to have the officials room right by the floor. And one of the officials left his pay sheet there that showed his breakdown of what he got per game. I can understand why because back then the refs, coaches could ask for officials,
Okay.
Right.
So if you didn't coach a good game, you wasn't coming back.
Okay.
So they don't make sure that you got all the calls.
The big dogs.
Yeah. So Fang Mitchell, Fang.
Yeah, Fang, Coppin legend. Yeah.
Yes.
Fang did it right.
Zone.
Fang did it right. You know what Fang did? Fang put it in his contract because, at these black schools, if they wanted to get rid of you, they could always say you lost all these games, but that money was used to help support those other sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fang made them give 30% of the games to him.
Oh, yeah.
So when they went out and made these $100,000 games, Fang got $30,000 in his account.
Hey, it made sense because he's taking those L's.
Exactly. And you want to get rid of me? I'm gonna be paid.
Hey.
Go hey, I'll take those 12 big. I'm trying to get. You give me 30% of the game of the pot. I'm gonna schedule everybody in the country. I'm on 1 through 10.
It's only fair. Baby. And nowadays you can fact check. But I remember I was in one league, and I was watching Fang from afar, and I could have sworn he played. Might have been 2 Big 10 teams like back to back, like Saturday and Sunday. Like, oh my!
Yeah, I still talk to Fang. I still doesn't have a good relationship with his players. I don't know if you knew that or not.
It's been a while since I've been.
No, they don't. They don't. Fang wasn't a people person.
Right.
He was about winning.
As the years went on with my time at A&T, and each year it seemed like I got a chance to talk to Fang a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And he would slowly open up and got comfortable. And I could see why, I want to say he's not a player's coach.
He's not.
But he was just an old school guy.
Yeah. He was great.
And the thing with coaches is you have to kind of evolve with the times.
Yeah.
And Fang was just he had his way.
Yep.
And that was his way.
Yeah.
And either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
They got rid of him and he had a damn good team. Because they knew he had a good team coming and he had 1 year left on his contract. And if he had won, he would add but Fang said they don't realize I didn't want to come back. So they still let me finish out the year. I wouldn't want to get renewed. But so
I'll tell you what, with coaches that have been around a program for a long time and all of a sudden they kind of get let go, and then you see them outside of that, they look like completely different people.
Yeah.
They're Coach Key, I know Spaceman, the track coach at A&T.
Yes.
He was a legend at A&T, just in the track and field world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after he left A&T, I saw him again. Man, he looked like he got 10 years back on his life.
Yeah, it's amazing now. Yeah.
Just because he felt free again.
Yeah. There's so much stuff you have going on.
And Coach, due to time constraints, but we could be talking forever.
Yeah,
you got a lot of stories, a lot of everything. So after Morgan State, where do we go after Morgan State?
Well, after Morgan, my last year Morgan, they fired the coach.
Okay.
And they brought me in as an interim head coach.
Okay.
And I hired one of my assistant coaches. And so after that year, Jeff Jones brought me up at Kutztown.
Okay.
They didn't retain me, but Jeff brought me up to Kutztown for a year. And I applied for the East Stroudsburg job, and I got it.
Okay.
And ended up not a lot of money. Only had like about $13,000 to $14,000 to recruit. But with the Pell Grant and recruiting Pennsylvania kids, especially out of Philly, you could get some players in.
Yeah, Magic Man.
So I ended up getting Coach of the Year my second year up there.
Okay.
And we went down the next year. We had a nice squad. And my point guard, Spencer Paulson, who didn't look like a player, but played with Jason at Olney, Jason Lawson. I played with him. He was a heck of a point guard. Come to find out, guys, that the guy could barely read and write. He had a third grade education, and they pushed him all through school. And I wasn't going to do that. And we went to Philadelphia to look at his records, and they said the kid was mentally retarded.
Wow.
And they said all this stuff about him, but guess what? No one signed anything. So they just pushed him through. So you don't know who did it. So Spencer went down, and I had to go point guard by committee. My front line at East Stroudsburg was 6'11", 6'9", and 6'6". I had a 6'9" Wally Driscoll from Providence. I had a 6'11" freshman kid from the area, and I had a 6'6" shooting guard from Harrisburg, and I had another all Air Force guy, and my point guard was shaky. So we go out and play Liberty. We're beating them. We're beating them. They was like surprised. 4 minutes to go, my point guard just throws the ball away off a token press. We lose by 4.
Wow. But you know, if history, if you beat Liberty, you might lose 25 in a row. So I don't know if you want to beat Liberty.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. You want to play close?
Yeah. But see, but guess what though? It was in my hometown.
Okay.
I had fans there.
I just got a little PTSD from that earlier story. Now that's
true. You know what? Yeah. You know what? That was a blessing.
Yeah, it was.
That's right. That's a curse. So after East Stroudsburg, when Spencer got hurt, we had all that talent, but they weren't a team. I had assistant troubles. They were backstabbing me.
Yeah.
And
that's a tough part of business. Yeah.
The AD at Morgan State ended up getting a job at Connecticut College.
Okay.
And he hired me up there. Now I came in. We only won like 6 games that year. So how do you win 6 games to get another job? Because who you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we went up to this preppy school up in Connecticut called Connecticut College, who they hadn't really done much. They just went to the Final Four that year and only lost 1 game. So,
wow.
Yeah, Glenn Miller. You know Glenn Miller? You ever heard of Glenn Miller?
No.
He was at Penn.
Okay.
Anyway, Glenn got the Brown job, so they bring me in. So we win like 18, 19
Good.
games both
That's
years.
Good.
Second year, I get coach of the year up there. So then my brother died in 2002 at 52 of pancreatic cancer. So I wanted to come back close to home. So I put in for the job at Greensboro, and they hired me there. And that's the last head coaching job from a full-time standpoint that I've had. I've had interims, but when we were at Greensboro, we had one of the top 10 biggest teams in the country. Didn't we, Scott?
So I will say it wasn't top 10. It had to be the biggest. Because we had 2 7-footers.
It's hard to get one.
2 6'9s. Had a couple 6'7s. Couple 6'5s.
A lot of people.
Had on top of all that, had all conference player Marcellus Morgan. Had Jason Williams, who we had on the podcast. I mean, just loaded.
Wow.
And Jerry Wood, who was a 6'9", do everything.
Alphonza, he was only 6'1" in high school and didn't make the team and grew 8 inches in 1 year. He was a guard. Story. He was a guard.
Yeah.
So had his skills.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you've seen his son, but his son is a heck of a player right now.
No, I haven't.
Oh, man, his son is an all-state player in North Carolina. I mean, just basically following in Jerry's footsteps right now.
Wow.
But, man, and I'll go back to what you just said a few minutes ago of, it's who you know on getting a job.
Yeah.
Because me personally, so Coach, you wanted to get back to North Carolina. I went to school in North Carolina. I wanted to kind of come back to North Carolina myself. And I reached out to you. I cold called you pretty much or emailed. And I got the job because of who I knew. And one of my best friends, Chris Potash,
That's
to this day, I talked to him a couple days ago, regrets not taking the position with you at East Stroudsburg.
Wow. Yes, he should have.
And he said, man, I should have went there. Instead, I went somewhere else.
He should have. We would have rocked.
And
I hired a guy that just totally backstabbed me.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and this is the crazy thing, Coach, because it came down to two people. I won't say the other coach's name, but he was an assistant with you at a previous college. I won't even mention the other college.
Hey, Coach will.
But listen, so I said, I know Chris Potash and I know this other guy. And the other guy backstabbed you.
Must be Doug Kraft.
Nope, not him. It's I'll just say
they start with an A.
We'll do it at the end of the episode.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
Get it off air.
Right.
But it was one of the two. I said the other person's name, and you're like, we can't talk anymore. If you know this guy, we can't talk anymore. Mm-hmm. If you mention his name, we can't talk anymore. But I'm like, well, I know Chris Potash.
I know Chris.
And because of your relationship with Chris, that's pretty much why and how I got the job at Greensboro College.
Well, I will say this: I wish I could have paid you more, but absolutely felt the level of trust that you brought to that job. Where I couldn't pay you enough, and I can never thank you. That's why I wanted to. If I had to go somewhere, I was making sure that you went with me. You know, and I just, like I said, so when that job with Jerry, I called up Jerry for you because I knew what he was getting, and Jerry trusted me. You know, so that's what it is. It's all about that.
I appreciate that. So that brought me and Coach Key back together.
Yeah,
when we worked at Shawan together. And, definitely helped me, with my coaching career. So after Greensboro College, so you spent a couple years there. Where did you go after Greensboro College?
It's funny because after Greensboro, remember JW? JW?
Yep.
JW's from Kentucky, right?
Yep.
So he gets me a job at Millersburg Military Institute, a prep school. And I was out there a couple of years, and when we went and played Oak Hill, and one of my kids, Matt Morgan, he was doing okay. We played Oak Hill out at the West Banco Classic. He had 24 and 12 against Oak Hill, and man, he went off the charts, man. That's when I really got a taste of how backstabbing it can be. Next thing I know, George Raveling's calling his mom. He ended up playing with the kid out of Cincinnati. They went to what's that guy? The one that challenged Michael Jordan in the camp.
Oh, not James White. Was it James White?
No, the kid, he had initials. He's from West Virginia. Something. He ended up playing with his team out of College Station, Ohio. He was a guard, 6'5" guard, went to USC.
Man, now I can't draw.
Jay, I don't know what it was. But he challenged Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Challenged Michael Jordan in his camp. And
I just cannot remember his name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mayo?
You know what I'm talking about.
OJ Mayo.
OJ Mayo.
OJ Mayo.
OJ Mayo,
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
OJ Mayo. Yeah. Him and Patterson, all them guys played on the same team.
Yeah.
And but I remember those games. So then after that, they shut our school down. So then I came back to Greensboro because my wife was still there. Then my PE teacher from high school got me up at Halifax.
Yep.
Stayed there 3 years. And stayed there 3 years. And then I didn't get my teaching certificate. So I'm sitting there, nothing to do. They fired the coach at Emerson. You know Stan Nance, right?
Yes.
Stan Nance is the assistant AD. Stan brings me up there. I coach up there and get him in the playoffs. So then I come on back home. Then I don't know what the heck after that. Then I came back home, and then next thing I know, I got a chance to come out to Arizona.
Wow.
And, I got one of my buddies asked me, said, "Why have you moved around so much?"
Right.
Because I went where the job was offered.
Right.
It wasn't no big plan of mine. I had to be flexible to go where I needed to go if I wanted to make a living, if I wanted to stay in this coaching.
What part of Arizona are you in, Coach? What part of Arizona?
Phoenix.
Okay.
I'm in Phoenix, right outside the stadium. Yeah.
Coach Bollwage and I in Phoenix one time, and right outside playing. Was Arizona State.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what Mesa. You were in Mesa.
And then, I mean, I saw Coach Bollwage almost jump a turnpike renting a car. That's another story. I'll tell you later. But yeah, Phoenix resides in my mind. Yeah, great story. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. You know, it ended up at Emerson. Then I came back home and I came out here to do a prep school.
Okay.
Then the guy that brought me out here got sick. Then I'm out here going from place to place. I get a girls' job at Paradise Honors. I helped them win the region championship. I take another job. Should have stayed with the girls. So then I've been moving around, and then I just got the second year at this girls' job, and we had some players. I'm telling you what, my point guard is just as good as any because no one knows who she is.
Okay.
If you know any schools looking for a point guard that can play,
right.
She got grades and everything. She be giving folks 50 a game at one time.
No question.
But she's tough, man.
Yeah.
She's tough. She's definitely Division I. I'll let you know that.
Yeah, you know what you're talking about.
So,
been there, done that.
So
anyway,
Coach, and that's been it.
Just and the great thing about this podcast is you learn so much about people and coaches that you may not have already known. And we've done a handful of episodes, and there are coaches we've had on that we just never knew their story.
Exactly.
Right.
And like I'm wondering when I hear like you coach women, you coach girls teams, like why would you make that jump? But I never knew that's where you got your start at West Liberty.
Yeah, it's the foundation.
So it's not like for some coaches it's a tough adjustment to go from one side to the other.
Not me.
But you've had that time on both sides to where it's not a huge adjustment for you.
But,
and it all
what I found, Scott?
Yes.
Women listen better than guys. But think about this. You really have to coach at the women's game because it's the purest form of basketball left in the game today. And what I mean by that is, think about this. The women's game is played under the rim. So you have to, there's athleticism ain't really a factor.
Right.
It's execution.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why, and I hope I don't be too, that's why at this women's level, you see a majority of the game is different, has a different perspective than the male game.
Right.
Absolutely.
There's certain girls that can't perform, like certain guys, they can't perform in the NBA, but in the girls' level, they can do it because it's execution, and it's like that.
Yeah,
right.
And your athleticism can get you in trouble if you end up breaking the play all the time because they're going to be there. Your fundamental, the rest of that team's defensive fundamentals going to shut you down and leave you out on the island.
No question.
No, and you're definitely big on the X's and O's and the execution of everything. So it's easy to see why you've had the success that you've had, when you coach the women and I want to say it's about time that you won a state championship.
Yeah.
But, getting coach of the year, getting the recognition that you've gotten from this year, it definitely, it's about time that you get the recognition that you've gotten for being the type of coach that you are.
This game is so political, guys. This game is so political. When I was at East Stroudsburg, I learned how to be political. There's a decision that had to be made that had an impact on my life. And that decision was, I didn't know that if AD wants to go Nike, you better go Nike.
Right.
I didn't know that. I knew Reebok's offered me twice as much for the same price. And the fact that I didn't go Nike, now I'm branded as not being a team player.
Yeah. Oh, they don't like
I'm
that.
out here in Arizona. Kentucky State flies me in for the interview. I know I got this job.
Right.
I don't get it because they make a call to him and he tells them he's not a team guy, don't hire him. Miles College, same way.
Wow.
Yeah.
He told me. So we've worked it out, and I apologize, but didn't know. Something that's simple, but it's God's plan. Whatever happens, it's God's plan,
Right. So we're going to keep this thing moving. And
I can't
Coach
wait.
Kee, you want to, man, I'm looking forward to this one because you've had a
can't wait.
lot of stops. So, Coach Key, you wanna bring in the ultimate coaching staff?
No question, absolutely, Coach. Again, with your outstanding background, this will be easy for you somewhat. Just play with us. You're at your ultimate job, your supreme job, whatever it may be, every resource you need, and you have to come up and hire an ultimate coaching staff. Now, obviously, Division I has added some staff members, so we like you to have an offensive coordinator.
Okay.
A defensive coordinator, a recruiting coordinator, and we call it associate head coach that can fill in whatever need that you may have on your staff. And Coach, I know it's going to be hard. Those are 4 spots, and then if you got to have it, a special assistant. So I gave you 5, Coach.
Interesting.
And we label this the no disrespect.
No disrespect.
Because some people aren't going to make it.
Not going to make it.
No.
What you got, Coach?
If I had to go an offensive coordinator, gosh, there's so many people out there.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hard.
Let me ask you a question. Can these guys be coaches or anybody, right?
So
see, I'm going to bring in Paul Westhead as my offensive coordinator.
Okay.
So, all right, so let's say coaches that people that you've come across through your coaching journey.
Yeah.
Okay.
So worked with, because we've had Coach Robert Bricky on here.
Yeah.
He had Barack Obama. He had Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're talking. Let's narrow it down to coaches that you've worked with or you've had some interaction with throughout your coaching journey.
Relationship with.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with guys I had interaction with. I think that makes it more, for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with offense. I got to go with Paul Westhead.
Okay.
I love the way they get up and down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, if I had to get a defensive guy, I would probably go Dick Bennett up at the coach on that pack line.
Yep.
Because I love the way he played. Because we played him at Morgan, and it was the funniest thing. They gave me, and that's the first time I knew I was in Division I. They gave me like $5,000 to speak at a luncheon. I said, what? So you gonna pay me $5,000 to talk? Yeah. So I just, I told them my whole team. I didn't even know their names. I yelled at them so much they thought their name was dumbass or something like that. Every kid thought. But anyway, I told a few jokes. And I told him, I said, other than the fact that we couldn't score or couldn't stop nobody, I felt pretty good about it. I laughed and jokes, and I just took that $5,000 check, and I was happy as a hog. So I had to play that game. Yeah. So that defense coordinator is going to be definitely Dick Bennett. What's the other one?
Recruiting coordinator. Get some players. Who would you put that responsibility on?
Coordinator. I'm going to go with Scott. I would take Scott as my recruiting coordinator. Because I know he know how to talk to. I know he know where to go, and I trust him.
Hey,
exactly. He got connections. I'm gonna trust Scott.
Like a Navy SEAL. Hey,
yeah, exactly.
I've seen him in action. Drop him anywhere you need. Yeah. Hey, you tell him Alaska, he'll find us something to do.
He'll find us. He'll find
a connection to a player. And associate head coach, who would you have as your associate head coach? Someone, whatever your need is.
You know what? It's only 2 people that come to mind. And those 2 people that I probably in my coaching career I've trusted the most. So I'm gonna go back with Scott on that, to be honest with you.
So I'll slide over to the associate. And then who else would you bring in as your recruiting coordinator? I'll take the pressure off of me being a recruiting coordinator.
Yeah, especially in Alaska. Recruit anything.
Recruiting coordinator.
I like it. Tough.
Yes, tough. But there's one guy who I know can recruit anybody and will go after him. That'll be my boy, Alfred Johnson.
Okay.
You know Alfred?
Where's he at now?
He's in Vermont now.
Okay.
But he's in Elizabeth City. Yep. Alfred can recruit his tail off, man. I mean, I mean, other than me, I
Yeah.
would pick me as recruiting coordinator. To be
No
honest with
question. Hey, you can't do it all, coach. Can't do
you.
it
Can't do
all.
it all.
Hey, you got to
Hey,
close
hey.
the deal.
Well, hey, I mean, that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
And so
Hey, you just
no,
closed the
I would
deal.
take,
Hey, you,
yeah,
you did.
Alfred knows, man. I'm telling you, he knows where to find him. He knows where they at, and he goes for it. I ain't never seen a guy. I mean,
Yeah.
like that.
That's his call. And coach, and if you out in Texas and San Antonio, the Riverwalk, you get anybody you want. I know that.
Yeah,
I know they have a nice visit, no doubt
yeah,
about
this
it.
is how we do it. This is how we do it. Straight up coming from the west side.
So, Coach, we're going to keep this thing going, and this is my favorite part of the podcast, and we call it Coaches Anonymous. So, a story about an anonymous coach. So, in this coaching profession, everybody goes by the first name of coach. So you don't have to say names, you don't have to say colleges, but a funny coaching story from your travels of recruiting, from practice, from games, something along the lines that's a absolute funny story for you. So, Coach Lynn Ramage, give us your coach's anonymous story.
It could be from an assistant coach's point of view as well, where you messed up and got talking to whatever you like. I know you got a plethora of them. PG-13.
You know what, guys? I have got to tell the story. Use myself as my first game as a head coach.
Okay.
I just gotten a job, and our first game was against the University of Iowa at the Hawkeye tournament over Thanksgiving. Now, the game was the 26th and the 27th. And like I said, I mean, I'm a Division I head coach now, so I have been like, I'm doubling up with assistant coaches. I don't.
Yeah.
So we get there, we leave Thanksgiving morning.
That's tough.
We get to the hotel, and we have to order pizzas for everybody because they know Thanksgiving dinner. Ain't nobody, So we get to disperse, and how you disperse the keys to everybody. So they give them declares their keys. My assistant coaches hand them their keys. They get to me. They hand me a real key.
Okay.
A real key. I'm thinking, this is strange.
Right.
So all of a sudden, we drop the players off at the floor, and now we going up. I don't see my floor. You got to have a key to unlock it to get to the penthouse.
Right.
So I'm thinking, man, I have arrived. I'm big time D1, baby. So I get to the room, guys, and I open the door. Then I freak out because I only see a couch.
Okay.
I said, what kind of crap is this? They gonna give me a room with a couch?
Right.
I took a few more steps, and the whole side of the room had a jacuzzi, big old bed, and a complimentary bottle of wine. I'm looking at him, I'm like, uh-oh, I am D1, baby. I have arrived, ready to make my debut against Dr. Tom, at the Hawkeye.
Yes, sir.
So I'm ready, right?
Thanks.
So we go out there, we practice, I'd already got my suit ready because I'm going to be sharp,
Right.
I wouldn't want to look. I already shoes shine, debut, Division I, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dreaming all my life. So I get to the game. So the game starts. So we in the locker room. I'm giving the old Newton rock, hit him high, hit him low, blah, 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 right? So then I decided that I had to make an appearance. So what I did was I brought the team back in about 5 minutes, and most they can tell you what time it is on the clock. So you said, okay, this is what we do. So I said, I'm going to make my entrance at 3 minutes.
Okay.
I'm going to walk down and walk to my team. So then that's my entrance to the game.
Right.
So I'm sitting in the back, man. I'm a little nervous. I ain't lying, nervous.
Yeah. Been there.
So I go to open the door. And in front of the door, there's an elevator, right? When I open my door, the elevator opens up, and it's the whole USC women's basketball team with Lisa Leslie, all them fine women. And somebody said, and I went, oh. My mind was like, what game? Poof. I just got a comment from the USC women's basketball, Pam McGee, all them. They was like, they said, oh. Because I was like, oh man, I just walked and kept straight, and I was thinking legs wobbling a little bit, So I got to the game, right? So I make my entrance, and so the game starts, and I'm like, oh, I'm up, I'm walking, and Jess Settles was playing. That's when they had Jess Settles, and Tom Davis ran his 2-2-1 press or whatever, and man, they were like cracking, they was hacking, right? So I get up, bam, the bench is on one end. So I walked that end toward the baseline where we're bringing the ball in. First half, opposite of our bench.
Right.
So I get up and I look at the official and I go like this. And then I go like that.
Yeah.
He gave me a technical. He gave me a T right away. Right away.
Wow.
Set my tail down and took that whipping. It was then when I got back to my hotel, I realized what that jacuzzi and bottle of wine for was to soak my ass after they beat it so bad and to get drunk and forget about the next day. So that's it right there. So that is, now I would tell you this. The funniest story was my first college game, because my junior college coach had told us my first game, he said, I want you to go out there. He said, I want you to give them buttholes and elbows, right? I'll say that. So I'm sitting there. I wasn't starting. I was a freshman. Because I didn't, So anyway, I wanted to be like the NBA, had all white uniforms on. So I'm out there with the white on. I'm warming up with it on. And when the game started, I sat at the other end of the bench because I wanted to make the long run when he called my name. Never took off anything. So our coach is a little small Italian guy. So about 3 or 4 minutes in, he goes, everybody's got a prefix. If your name is Lynn, it's Lenny. He goes, Lenny. Dudes, I jumped up, ripped off my top, turned around, set it on my chair, pulled my pants down. I pulled my shorts and everything down. I mooned the crowd. So I said, Coach, you asked those and elbows. I gave it to you right there, baby. I came in the face, but I came in the game, off his light-skinned kid. We gonna be blessing, We blessing, baby. We light-skinned, we gonna show. That was my first game, and ended up getting in the Hall of Fame at that school. So that's good.
That's awesome. Awesome. You were obedient.
Yes.
Those are some great stories. And before we let you go, Coach, we've had a great time, and I cannot let you go without you telling me and telling everybody listening one of your favorite all-time jokes. Because for those that don't know, every time, and I don't know, I'm sure it's not just me, but anytime I talk to you on the phone, at the end of the conversation, there's gonna be some type of joke. So I cannot let you get off this podcast without you telling everybody one of your famous jokes.
Well, that last story I told was a story I told when I got to speak to some people in my hometown. Like it was a little club, and I started off with the college story. But yeah, it's always good to break the ice with a good little story. But Scott, you already heard this joke, so you probably gonna know it already. I told you the other day, but Bonza hasn't heard it yet. This lady was very lonely. She put an ad in the paper that she wanted a soulmate, but he had to have 3 characteristics. He could never hit her.
Right.
He couldn't run away, and he had to be packing down below. Had to carry stuff well. So she wakes about 2 weeks later, knock on the door, or doorbell rings. So she goes to the doorbell, she looks, she don't see nobody. Mm-hmm. So she figures it's a prank. So she starts walking away, and the doorbell rings again. So she runs to the door to catch it.
Right.
And lo and behold, she looks down, there's a man with no arms, no legs, and on a roller cart, right? So she goes, oh, I'm sorry. Can I help you with your charity? She goes, charity? He said, I'm here to answer that ad you had in the paper. He said, yeah, but you ain't got no arms.
Right.
Hey, you said you wanted a man that never hit you, right? I ain't got no arms. I can never hit you. Mm-hmm. She goes, yeah, but you don't have any legs either. well, you said you wanted a man that couldn't run away.
Mm-hmm.
I can't run away. I don't got
Right.
no legs. She said, yeah, but you got to be packing. That's part of the deal too. He said, I rang the doorbell, didn't I? That's it.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure.
And there we have it.
Oh man, we got to have a segment just for your jokes, Coach. Been a pleasure, man.
Coach,
Man, it's really, I just want to say that it really feels good that you guys would think enough to bring me on.
Mm-hmm.
It means a lot, that people think about you in that way, because you don't know. You just try to go, over the years you think nobody care about you and stuff like that, because but it's just good. Thank you. It means a lot, so it just means a lot. I appreciate it.
Coach, we definitely appreciate it, and continued success with all you do, and we definitely look forward to catching up with you again on the road.
I appreciate, love you guys, man, and appreciate you, and in regards to your families, okay?
Okay.
Appreciate you, Coach.
All right, take care.
Another great episode of Life on the Road. Today we had Lynn Ramage, who we go back about 20 years each with us, and I had an opportunity to work with him back at Greensboro College. And like all of our other guests, just an amazing story, an amazing journey of some things we really didn't know took place before we actually got a chance to know each other. And Coach Kee, any final words on Coach Ramage?
Like you said, an elder statesman in his profession, both sides of the coin, male, female, junior college, Division I, head coach, assistant coach. It's truly amazing. And one thing I took from him is he coaches and he cares. And he put both of those together, has a line in sand which he does not compromise, and really enjoyed his story and continue to impact young people.
Absolutely. So until next time, Coach Kee, take us away.
I'm Alphonza Kee.
And I'm Scott Bollwage.
Keep it in the road.
And keep it between the lines. We want to thank you for your continued support of the Life on the Road podcast. Please comment on each episode and give us that 5-star rating wherever you get your podcast. And make sure you hit the follow button so you don't miss an episode. You can also watch all the episodes on our YouTube page and follow us on social media at Coach AKSB. Thanks again to all of our guests and listeners. This wouldn't be possible without you.